Okay, we're good. So yes, if you saw me go live a few other times, it's mainly because I was having audio issues, but you know what? Problem solved. Okay, yep, all that's good. So yes, Chucky season 3 production or part 2 production and filming and all of that is ending I think this Friday, aka the 22nd. And yeah, pretty much everyone's like starting to post the wrapping post and everything, such as Fiona Dourif, Devon Sawa, Olivia, the actress who plays Lexi, and just a bunch of other people are posting the wrapping post. There's the costume department or one of the costume designers and main costume designers for Chucky. And that is Catherine Ashton, who I've discussed and sourced in the past on the channel. So yeah, let's hop right into all of the posts. I'll be live for around 30 minutes or so. I know I've gone live 5 other times, which doesn't help the algorithm and everything and all of that. But you know what? Let's just discuss it anyway. At least this time the audio will actually be audible and listenable. So yep, here's the first post basically with Fiona Dourif, Don Mancini, and Jennifer Tilly. And obviously Zachary Arthur in the background, which is really cool. And it's kind of funny because I don't know why. When I looked at this picture, Zachary Arthur's hair kind of looked really wet and weird or anything. Something happened or was happening in this scene that was really kind of oh my god, what the fuck is gonna happen? It could be that he's just on set to basically be on set and everything for Fiona Dourif's last day and all of that. It doesn't necessarily mean he's in the scene. But I will go with the fact that maybe he is in the scene. That's very possible. Because obviously, I don't think he's had many scenes with, with Fiona Dourif's Nika. I don't really think so. And obviously, you have some broken glass with a chair on, in the floor, which obviously maybe, Nika was sitting in the chair since obviously she doesn't have her arms and legs. And we do see, her kind of mechanical arm right here off to the side with obviously some other crew members and all of that. Damian seeing at the helm of, I think, directing. I think he's directing all of it and everything. I don't know why I don't know that, but and he has his Chucky season 3 production stunt hat on, which is really cool because I think Jennifer Tilly posted a few days ago that they have these Chucky season 3 stunt and production cast crew hats, which is really funny. And I don't know why Diamond Cine also always wears the coolest fucking shirts when filming or doing any of those things. I think this is a Bruce Lee shirt. Sometimes he'll wear other cool horror shirts. I don't know. I just find stuff really cool. And yeah, like I said, a bunch of glass smashed on the ground. I'm not sure if this is the prison. Because I'm assuming they're getting really close to the end where it's obviously they're finishing filming Friday the 22nd. So. And they're maybe on episodes 7 and 8, unless they're doing reshoots and everything. But it's this looks like it's in the prison, but it looks like Tiffany breaks out of the prison with all that fire riot stuff and everything inside the prison that we saw in the part 2 trailer, which I think only covered episodes 5 and maybe 6. Then obviously 7 and 8, well, I don't think it was even filmed at all or whatever. Maybe they even started a little bit of work on it, but yeah, I don't think so. So it's I would love to imagine this isn't in the prison because it's what would be going on and all of that. But I do wonder what happened to the scene to this window looks intact and everything, so maybe it's not the window that shattered, but then it makes me wonder what did shatter. What shattered on the floor and everything with all this glass and all of that. And like I said, Zachary Arthur's over here doing a funny photo bomb, but it's just kind of it's Tiffany and Nika in the scene together, and maybe Jake, which would be really cool. But it's just kind of, who knows? So the next post is basically from Devon Sawa that basically says, when I was a young boy, I used to hide the last few days on set because I knew the minute they'd take a picture of me, I'd break down and cry and it'd be a rap and everything. Tomorrow's my last day on Chucky season 3, and well, if they can't find me, all of that. And today is the 19th, and this is posted on the 18th, meaning that basically today is his last day on set for Chucky Season 3 Part 2, and just Chucky Season 3 in general. And now he did post a funny picture or something that I was what the fuck? Let me try to see if I can try to find it. It is right here, where he says, "We lived." Now, I'm assuming this, obviously, this is fucking so out there and everything, so far out there. But the fact he says "we lived" and it's basically this whole picture of one of those old carnival rides where you're up against the wall and all of that, you're fucking flying, everyone's throwing up. And he says "we lived." very likely refers to the picture and everything, the whole carnival ride. But it's just like, I don't know why in my head, as soon as I saw this post, I was like, is this a teaser that he lives and survives Chucky season 3? Very unlikely, since obviously, like, you know, he has a whole history of being killed by Chucky in, like, you know, the most, like, bizarre, wacky, and crazy ways possible. And obviously there's that shot in the season 3 trailer where he does get, like, you know, pinned down by Chucky, and, like, Chucky, like, you know, goes up like this with, like, you know, blood and all of that all on him. And obviously there's that person on fire that a lot of people think could possibly be Devon Sawa, and, like, you know, his character James, like, you know, President James on fucking fire, or President Collins on fire. So it could be possible he survives, but I don't think this refers to, like, the show and everything, but it would be funny if it did. This is basically Catherine Ashton, who I've sourced a lot in the past on, like, you know, here and on YouTube, because she is the Chucky costume designer and everything. I posted this to my Twitter. Be sure to follow and everything for some more extra updates. But yeah, basically she's, like, you know, the Chucky costume designer. She basically posted a video of her team's last costume design meeting for, like, you know, it basically says here, final costume meeting, I think Chucky season 3 done. And now, obviously, like I said, I don't think it finishes production until the 22nd on Friday. But I'm assuming they're having just a final, like, you know, meeting. They have all the wardrobe done. This is just a final meeting until all the wraps and everything on Friday. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I do really like her. She hosts, like, a lot of really cool, like, stuff with the wardrobes. And obviously wardrobes could sometimes give teasers to, like, stories, plots, and characters. Like, very small stuff, but it's still cool nonetheless. I think I could swear when she posted something, I don't think it was, I might have been her, or it might have been Jennifer Tilly that posted the original thing of, like, I think it was the David Bowie photo where it's, like, Glenn and Glenda and, like, that kind of whole teaser, but it could have been Jennifer Tilly. I'm not 100% sure. Now, this last one is kind of weird because it's from Olivia, who plays Lexi. I don't know why I blanked there, on the show and everything. And obviously this picture is a little worrying because this is my last day of filming. Like, let's answer some questions. And it's basically was posted yesterday and everything. So our last day of, like, you know, filming was Monday. But it's like Jake was right here in this shot and everything. I could assume Jake is, like, you know, Zachary Arthur isn't done filming yet. Maybe he is, and maybe that's, like, a post I didn't see. But if he's not done filming yet and Lexi finished filming or Olivia finished filming, then it's just kind of like, did she find Caroline and is now going off into the sunset or leaving? Or maybe, like, you know, they all split off into different families and everything like that. Or maybe they all go their own separate ways but not with a family. That's very possible. And there's obviously those, like, the obvious theories that, like, oh, Lexi dies in season 3, which I don't think will happen because, like, you know, here's the thing. If they started off, like, you know, Chucky with, like, you know, 6, well, not 6 is a bit much. This isn't Stranger Things. But if they start off the show with maybe 4 or 5 teens and then killed one, there's, like, still 5 or 4 left. It's like, oh, okay, then maybe it's all right for, like, you know, one to die. And I think you still have so many other characters. And obviously all these characters are awesome, have great chemistry, and the actors are great for the characters. But if you only had 2 teens and characters left, it feels like it'd feel weird. Like, it's, like, missing a piece. Like, maybe that's just me and everything. And also, I don't feel like you could kill Lexi when she, like, you know, is defining Caroline and all that. You could have a sacrifice, I guess, which is very possible. But it's like, if you were to kill off one of the main teens, like, you know, Jake, Devon, or Lexi or so, I feel like I would say that for a series finale. Because, like I said, it feels like it'd just feel weird to only have, like, you know, 2 of them left. Just my take and everything. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know anything, but I don't know. Maybe they, like, you know, finish, like, filming all of the Jake, Devon, and Lexi stuff and everything, and maybe it's just, like, now we're getting some Tiffany stuff and Chucky stuff, and then that's where we're gonna find out, kind of, I don't know, that, I don't know. Like, maybe we're going to see, like, but I feel like if there's a definitive end for the season, like the rumors suggest, and like I said, just rumors, if there's a definitive end this season where it feels like a conclusion, I don't feel like it would end on something like Chucky. Yo, what's up, Isaiah? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, I'm fucking horrible with names. Do you think Chucky will win? I don't think he will, because there were rumors that Chucky season 3 would feel more like an end to, like, you know, the series. So I feel like Chucky will be beat, but I don't think he will be dead. But I don't think he'll win this season. Like, I think he will be brutal in part 2 and all of that, but I don't think he'll exactly win. I could be wrong, but I don't think they would have him win. I just like don't think they would. Like I said, I think in the end it's just gonna be that he does some brutal shit kind of, but doesn't win. Again, I could be completely wrong. Like, you know, like the whole ending of season 3, part 2 could be that Chucky wins and all of that, and there's like true mayhem. But I feel like they wouldn't do that if it does feel like an end. Again, who knows? Maybe Lexi does die. Maybe one. I don't know. It's all just so up in the air, in my honest opinion. That's just kind of who knows. Actually, let me see if I can try to pick apart the photo that was put out by Jennifer Tilly. Actually, I did forget to include something. Will Andy return? You know what's kind of funny, actually, now that you mentioned, like, you know, will Andy return? Is I think Alex Vincent posted a lot of behind-the-scenes photos of... Yeah, this was it. And even if he doesn't return, these are just some really cool photos in general. Let me see. Even if he doesn't return Chucky season 3, which he could, you know, like I feel like it would be maybe weird if they like had all those like those like weird things where it's like, oh, does Andy survive? Does he not live? Or maybe unless they, but Dami Mancini did say, oh, just because Kyle and Andy walked off into the sunset with that old Child's Play 2 clip in the end of season 2 doesn't mean they're out of Chucky's grasp. So maybe they will come back, because it's like, why would he say that if they don't come back, right? To basically recap what I just said, because I kind of said it in a bunch of like little like flops and everything and a bunch of like, you know, stutters. But basically in the end of season 2 of Chucky, or Chucky season 2, like, you know, they show that old clip of like, you know, Andy and Kyle leaving the Good Guy doll factory and everything. In the end, basically almost like, oh, Andy and Kyle are finally now free. But Dom Mancini said in an interview that, oh, don't think that means that they're out of Chucky's grasp yet, or something like that. I'm completely, like, you know, going off on a whim and everything, but I do remember him saying something like, oh, don't think that that's the end of, like, you know, Chucky with, like, you know, Kyle and Andy. So I feel like he could return. These are basically all of, like, you know, like behind the scenes, like, you know, photos of the whole dream sequence with Chucky and Andy and Caroline and everything, which is really cool. And I like how in all of these, Chucky actually looks like really fucking scary. Like this whole image. Yeah, Andy and Caroline. All this stuff is really cool. I guess this is just another example of the whole thing where it's like, just because an actor's on set with another actor doesn't necessarily mean they're in that scene. With, like, you know, with what I said about, like, you know, this photo right here, just because Zachary Arthur's in this photo doesn't mean he'll be in the scene. So, like, kind of like this. Unless this is a photo of, like, you know, later in the season. But I doubt, like, you know, Alex Vincent would post that because, like, a potential of, like, you know, spoilers or whatever. Yeah, Andy Barclay. I think Tiffany will save Chucky. That is a possibility and a theory that I did have earlier this kind of, I think earlier in the season, or not earlier in the season, but kind of after part 2 was ending, or part 1 was ending, that, like, you know, Tiffany has all the Damballa powers still, like, you know, the power of Damballa, all of that, and all of those powers. So it's very possible that she could use that to help Chucky, because obviously Chucky was, like, you know, all, like, you know, taken away from Damballa and all of that. So it is very possible that then Tiffany will have to help Chucky. So it is very possible that she could help him. But I feel like that'll happen. If she does help him out, that'll happen kind of early in part 2 when Tiffany breaks out. And then obviously something like, you know, some shit will go down later on in the season that will, like, you know, have Chucky actually die maybe. Which would be really cool. I think Chucky that's a season 4. I really hope it gets a season 4. I feel like with the Damballa doctor, all of that stuff, Chucky obviously being ruthless and all that, Tiffany being able to maybe help him, and having the creator of the good guy dolls come in, which is something that I didn't even mention like in this live stream, but I did make a video on it, is if you have the creator of the good guy dolls, who will be played by John Waters, which is fucking awesome. I think his name is Wendell Wilkins. So if you have him come in, the creator of the good guy doll, there's no fucking way in hell that they're going to have, like, I guarantee there's some off-the-rail shit they could do with a season 4 and, like, evolve the story. Like, you have it be even, like, scarier and more brutal and everything, and bring in some more old legacy characters, which is very possible. Because there was an interview that... I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. Let me see. Child Play 1 cast... I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Yes, Chris Sardon. I don't know. I'm fucking awful with names. But basically, Mike Norris, the actor who plays Detective Mike Norris and everything in Chucky or Child's Play 1980, basically was in an interview recently with Sci-Fi, basically saying that he would return if the opportunity came to be. So if they did a season 4, I feel like he'd be a really good candidate to bring back in. Yes, would it be weird if Mike came back to help and everything, but Karen didn't? Yeah, it would be kind of weird, but it would be cool to have him back nonetheless. Sci-Fi, Chris I can't pronounce his name to save my life. Sci-Fi. Yes, Chris. Yes, this is it. This is the article I found. Let me make sure the audio not playing on this fucking ad. So basically, yeah, the one that got away, original Child's Play actor, star open to a rematch with Chucky. If Kyle and Andy could come back, why not Detective Mike Norris? I think Chucky will kill Lexi or Jake or Devin. We won't see it coming. That is very possible. It is very possible. Like I said, I wouldn't want it to happen because I feel having only 2 teens left would be kind of odd in my honest opinion. I don't know. I like all 3 of them so much and they bounce off each other so well that having only 2 left would just feel really weird for me. Like I said, if they were to do it with the series finale, I feel like I could deal with it. And I feel like I'd be like, oh, okay, that's really emotional. This is the end. And I feel like they could do it going into another season, but like I said, I don't feel like I would want it to happen. But this is pretty much an interview with the whole thing that, Chris Sarandon, I fucking am terrible with names. Basically, the actor from, Child's Play 1988 and everything, who played Detective Mike Norris, is open to coming back with, Chucky, the show, or maybe another movie. But yeah, hopefully. Basically, it says now 81, which, based on a picture I saw of him, he looks good for 81. I'm assuming he could basically, return. I mean, he was the original one to kill, Charles Lee Ray, so to have him come back again would be really cool, in my honest opinion. So basically, when asked to, say, he said, yeah, sure, was the reply. It depends on the circumstance, but I would think that at this point, Mike Norris is retired. But basically, he says Mike Norris is retired, not, he as an actor's retired. So it's very possible that he could come back. Even so, it can't hurt for the young heroes Jake, David, Lexi to get some help from another season survivor of the homicidal doll, especially when there's so many victims unable to see the possessed doll play thing for who he truly is until it's too late. So yeah, he could come back. Do you think the president will die? Basically, James, Devin Sala's character. It's very possible, and I feel like possibilities. I feel like he will 100% die. I really do, because we obviously do see Chucky attack him and all of that. But to subvert expectations and have him live would be really cool. Especially when he would have the power to kind of broadcast Chucky to the rest of the world and have everyone find out that he's alive. Well, I feel like there's issues with that in general, because it's like, if they pronounce that, Chucky's alive, obviously everyone in the world can simply just go, oh, that's cool CGI, that's cool deepfakes, AI, and everything. So it's just really showing Chucky's alive to the rest of the world could be very challenging in the modern world and landscape. which I never thought of until now. That would be really difficult to have them prove Chucky's alive with everything. Because like I said, people could just go, CGI, it's AI, it's deep fakes, all that shit. So it's just like, it's animatronic. Like, it'd just be very hard to, like, be able to actually show Chucky's alive to the world and in the landscape and modern world and, like I said, landscape. I hope Andy comes back in season 3 part 2. I do too. As I pretty much said with, like, with Don Mancini basically saying, oh, just because you saw Andy and Kyle in the Child's Play 2 clip at the end of Chucky season 2 doesn't mean they're just, like, free of Chucky's grasp and, like, grip and all of that. And, like, free of Chucky and, like, are they back to where they started? That whole thing that Don Mancini said at the end of Chucky season 2 and with the whole Child's Play 2 clip and Andy and Kyle walking away, basically saying that they're not free of Chucky's grasp or don't think that they are 100% free. It very much means or could mean that he does come back. Because, like, I feel like he has to come back because of that, like, quote that Don Mancini said, but he might not, but I feel he will. Oh, this is just a lot of rambling. I think Andy will die at some point. I feel he could too. I don't know. If he does die, I hope it's not in the Sally Hardesty Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 style. Because I felt that was fucking insulting, in my honest opinion. Like, usually I'm very soft on horror movies. Well, not soft. I usually typically like them. Like, I'm like how Eli Roth described himself. I'm like a garbage disposal of horror. It's like I love everything about horror. So it's like when it comes to criticizing it, it feels like very difficult because I love it so much. Like, I'm usually very lenient on it to a degree. But, dude, the way they handled Sally Hardesty in fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 is fucking disgraceful, in my opinion. But yeah, basically, if Andy does die at some point, I hope it's for a great cause and a great sacrifice and isn't how we thought he was going to die in, like, season 3, part 1. I would never want him to die that way. Because it's like I said, like, and even they probably know this, a character you've had since Child's Play 1, 1988, dying strapped onto a bed, you can't fucking do it, so it had to be a dream. Which I actually really liked. I actually liked that a lot. It was gory and awesome. It's just a lot of rambling and ranting from me, pretty much. Will Caroline die in season 3, part 2? I mean, the show isn't against killing children and young, like, people. So it's very possible, because obviously, like, they killed, like, Jake's foster orphan brother in, like, season 2 in, like, I think the first episode, for fuck's sake. So I think they could kill Caroline, but do I think they will? I don't think so. Because it feels like Lexi's been through so much, and, like, this whole season, or one of the whole plot points of season 3 has pretty much been find Caroline and save Caroline, so I don't think they necessarily will. Again, I could be wrong. Hell, maybe Lexi saying, or, like, Olivia is basically saying this is her last day of filming for Chucky season 3. Maybe she dies sacrificing herself for Caroline. That's very possible, but I don't know. Like I said, 95% of the things I say are pretty much guesses based on looking over the information very, very thoroughly. So it's very possible she could die. Do I want her to die, though? No, I don't want her to die. Yeah, Nika is apparently in season 3, part 2. Which I don't know why I thought she wasn't, but it's just because I saw all the trailers and I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's Jake, Devin, Lexi, the White House, all of that, Chucky, Tiffany getting out of prison, that I completely ignored the, like, whole concept that Nika could be in the season 3, part 2, but apparently she is, and there's broken glass, chairs all over the place, so only Don Mancini and the cast and crew know how that will go. I don't, but I really can't wait to see it. What if Junior survives? What do you think they would... What if Junior survived? What do you think they would have done with him? That's a very interesting what if that I would actually like to do a video on now that you mention it. I really would be curious to see what they would have done with him. Because, well, let's say if he survived. He killed his father, So it's just like he committed murder. That's kind of the issue. It's like if he did survive, it's like what do you do with the character that actually committed murder? Like, yes, he redeemed himself at the end of the season and everything, but it's just like what do you do with the character that committed murder? You know, how Jake, Devin, and Lexi look at him. Like, yes, his father was technically a drunk, abusive piece of shit. So it's like you could argue in the favor of him, but he still did kill. So it's like interesting how it would have been for him going forward. How about Nika will happen? I'll assume you mean what do you think will happen with Nika? I don't think they could kill her. I don't think they could kill Nika because it's like she's been through so fucking much and everything that's just like, just give her the win. If they bring her back, which they obviously are, she's clearly here, right, in Chucky Season 3 Part 2. And I just don't think they could kill her. They've done so much to her and everything that's just like, how do you kill her? You know? Unless they flat out do another fucking dream sequence, which I don't know if they should do again. And if they do, save it for like Season 4. Also, I forgot to mention, I fucking love Jennifer Tilly's shirt right here, which is my name is like, you know, Tiffany Valentine, your goddamn mother, which is what she says to like, you know, Gigi and everything in Season 2. After I think she kills like, you know, Megan Tilly and everything in that scene, like, you know, it's just her like, you know, real life sister, but on screen sister. It's so complex and everything, but I fucking love it. But I'm very curious to see what they do with Nika in like, you know, Season 3 Part 2 and like, you know, what the story will be for her. Because it's like, she's obviously going to break out of, like, you know, Tiffany's technically going to break out of prison. So maybe like, you know, Nika will try killing Tiffany. Because like I said, if this season feels like an actual conclusion and an actual ending for Chucky, it's, you know, like what will happen to all of that, you know? Like, will Nika kill Tiffany and then maybe she'll transfer her soul into a doll, which is a possibility? Like, maybe like as soon as like, you know, Tiffany dies, she slowly transfers her soul into like a Belle doll or a Chucky doll, as another theorist said. That's very possible. I think Kyle will die. That's actually, you know what's funny is it's actually I don't know if that was a voice crack, it just like sounded really loud. But that's actually a possibility because it's like, I love Kyle. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love Kyle. But I feel like that could be a potential dig they have at Andy where, like, you know, Chucky kills Kyle and everything. I could see that actually happening and me being like, oh, okay, that's a sacrifice that definitely wouldn't piss me off a ton. Because it's like, I feel like they really could do it very emotionally, do the like character of like, you know, Kyle justice, Christina at least have like a really good send off for her. I feel like they could really do that. It would be an emotional moment for Andy without killing Andy and allowing Andy to be the one to finally kill Chucky, which is very possible. And maybe have Mike Norris finally, like, you know, come full circle and actually kill Chucky finally. That could be possible. But I feel like all that has to go to Andy in my honest opinion, but that's a whole other can of worms to open. I think Nika and Kristen DeSilvia meet. That would be really cool. I would love to see that happen. There's so many, like I said, like, I don't know if I can really end it with Season 3. Like, I feel like you just gotta give them a Season 4. And if they have a Season 4, cherish the fact that you get that Season 4 and just bring in the people that want to come back. Although, the people that make sense to come back. Which I feel like with Dom Mancini's talent and the other writers' talent, they definitely can get it done and have it make sense. Because obviously, you can have a character come back and have it not make any fucking sense. But I feel like they could do it right. Which I think the actress Perry Reeves that played Kristen DeSilvia did make a cameo video a long time ago saying she wants to come back. Dom Mancini and her, I think, did talk. Although Dom Mancini did acknowledge that he did hear of that video and everything, that Perry Reeves wanted to come back. So with all the time in between that video, Dom Mancini's response, maybe them like talking and meeting and all of that and talking, it's possible that they could have wrote her or got her into season 3 part 2, which was the whole theory about like, you know, with it going to the White House, military, all of that, and the fact that like, you know, oh, because of military and all that, that Perry Reeves, Kristen DeSilvia, maybe Tyler could come back, which is very possible. I just really want to see that because I really do like Kristen DeSilvia, which I know I said her name wrong in the fucking What Happened After video. Do you like Halloween Kills? It's funny that you mentioned that. I actually have the DVD. Yep. Oh, well, here's the thing. I say yes, I like Halloween Kills, but here are my criticisms of Halloween Kills, which I know only... It was probably a yes or no question, but I do kind of want to answer because I do have some strong opinions. I like Halloween Kills in the sense that... Okay, Halloween Kills is good, but I don't like how every character is a fucking idiot. Like, really stupid. And I know the movie was meant to be a comment on mob mentality and a lot of things that happen in, like, actual, like, real life and politics, which I completely, like, actually liked. But it feels like every character is really stupid. Well, not every character and everything, but a lot of characters are really stupid, make a lot of really stupid decisions, which is normal, because obviously stupid decisions create a story and conflict. But it feels like a lot of the characters from the mob are really stupid. Someone mentioned this, and I can't let it go out of my head now, that there's one scene where, like, Michael Myers kills the mob, and it feels like a Nike commercial. Like, it looks really fucking nice and slick and cool, but it feels really weird how it was shot. And the kills are really cool and brutal, but it feels weird how it was shot, like, you know, all of that. Like I said, it feels like a Nike commercial, which I didn't even come up with that. Someone came up with that criticism that it looks like a Nike commercial is all of that. And... I think that's really all my criticisms, is that a lot of characters feel annoying and stupid in that one Nike commercial scene. Oh, and the evil dies tonight. That was the catch line of this movie. I think it was the catch line of this movie is that evil dies tonight. But, one, evil didn't die tonight. And two, everyone said that phrase in the movie 7,000 fucking times. And it's just like... It got old, really old after like a while. But I know the movie has a lot of defenders. And, you know, it's not horrible. I just have a few like irks and criticisms with it. But it's not bad by any stretch of the means. So to answer your question, I like Halloween Kills. Obviously, it's a Halloween movie and everything. It's pretty modern and everything. I like it, and I like that. I like Laurie. I like all of that. And the kills are really good. I really like the kills, especially that opening with, like, you know, the firemen coming into the burning building and, like, you know, Michael Myers killing all of them. I found that really cool. But, yeah, has some flaws, really big flaws, but overall, I like it. Do you think Chucky will die in Season 3 Part 2 and then come back later in some way? I do. Definitely. They're definitely going to make it seem like he died, but obviously Dom Mancini said he wants to finish it with a movie, so he will finish it with a movie, is what I truly believe. So yeah, Chucky will die, like, most likely. It'll seem like an actual ending, because obviously for it to seem like an actual ending and conclusion, all of that, like I said, based on a rumor, that will, like, seem like an actual conclusion and an ending. But if they do, I feel like, yes, they will kill Chucky. He will die, maybe of, like, you know, old age and everything. Or, like, obviously maybe they'll just kill him. Because since he doesn't have the power of Damballa anymore, all it could take is a gunshot and bleeding out, a head shot, something like that. But maybe Tiffany gets away or something like that. Or maybe Tiffany, like I said, gets into the doll. She has the full power of Damballa. And then she could bring him back in Season 4 or another movie. But I prefer Season 4 and then maybe a movie. Because I feel like there's still a lot they could do with the TV series, in my honest opinion. I think Halloween Ends was not that bad. Again, I'll be right back. Yep. I don't believe Halloween Ends was that bad either, honestly. Again, was it great? No fucking way. But was it awful? Not by any stretch of the imagination to me. I know a lot of people didn't like the whole Corey thing and found that just blatantly fucking stupid. But I didn't hate it. I really didn't. I actually liked it. Fuck, I actually really liked it. And that's kind of the weird thing is I have a lot of criticisms against Halloween Kills, but a lot of people like that, which I like it, obviously. Like I said, I like it. I just have some criticisms, but I like it overall. But then I really like Halloween Ends, but people fucking hate that. So I feel like a contrarian. But in the end, I like the whole new Halloween trilogy. I don't find any of like them awful. It's just like, I just have some criticisms towards Kills, and that's really about it. And obviously I have some criticisms towards Ends. Although I really like Halloween 2018. I really like that one. Like, that's like an actually really good Halloween movie. It's just I have some criticisms with Kills, and then fewer criticisms with Ends. Have you seen Insidious the Red Door? You know what's funny is I haven't yet. I did recently watch, maybe in the last month or two, Insidious 1. But I've not seen Insidious 2 in years. Well, it's been a little bit, maybe a year or so. But I have not seen Insidious 2 in like a few years. But then I do want to watch Insidious the Red Door. Because it's like, because it's like, I don't think I have to watch Insidious 4, 5, or whatever to see the Red Door, I don't think. But I do want to see it. I have seen some shaky things about it, but I feel like I'll like it. That's kind of the thing with horror. It's just like, people will say, like, I respect all these opinions, and some people say, like, oh, I didn't like this, I don't like, whatever. Like I said, I'm just like, Eli Roth when it comes to, I'm a garbage disposal for horror. Just like, I almost like anything, honestly. Like, obviously, like, nothing goes without its fucking extreme or unextreme flaws and criticisms. But in the end, I typically end up liking it. It's like I saw like a lot of reviews saying that from people saying they didn't like It's a Wonderful Knife. Again, I respect all of those. Even some of them criticisms I agree with. But overall, I fucking loved that movie. So much so that I've been constantly like trying to find out if Shudder will release a fucking DVD or Blu-ray version of it, or 4K. I really hope they do. But yeah, I have not seen Insidious the Red Door yet. But I definitely will eventually, I think, hopefully before the year ends or early 2024. I think it's actually on Netflix. So yeah, I just have to rewatch Insidious 1, 2, and then maybe I think you could skip, the other movies and then go to the Red Door since it follows that one family who hasn't been seen since Insidious 2, so I've been kind of disappointed. Well, let me read that on here. I've been kind of disappointed with Chucky Season 3 so far. I really enjoy Season 2, but Season 3 just isn't doing it for me. I hope Part 2 changes my mind. I support that. Not everyone's going to love everything. Like, obviously, everyone's going to have different opinions. Like I literally said about, like, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Everyone's going to have different opinions, and I support yours. It's kind of the same thing with, like, I like Chucky Season 1 and 2, but Chucky Season 3 is by far my favorite. But I support that fact that, like, it isn't your favorite. And as I said with most things, nothing goes without criticisms or, like, imperfections. Like in Chucky Season 3, the animatronic work, really good. Although there are some moments where people have made fun of Chucky's posture because, sometimes the animatronic puppetry work does look a little weird, but overall it's really good. But that's just the criticism I have about it. I'm excited for Season 2 or Season 3 Part 2, though. I'm really excited for it. I think Don Mancini says he's shooting for a spring 2024 release. Do you think we will get Jaws this generation? It would be cool to get Jaws. Like, a new Jaws. But there's a video I watched a really long time ago. I know I make everything sound like, I saw this last decade or something, even though it was like maybe a year ago or whatever. But I saw this video on why we probably shouldn't get another Jaws. And I can't help but kind of agree that it's like it'll probably be CGI shark and some other stupid bullshit. So personally, I don't think I would want another Jaws unless they're gonna go the Tim Burton route with Beetlejuice 2 and Beetlejuice and go full practical even in the modern day where it's like a lot of CGI. So yeah, if they went practical, made the characters as impactful as the first movie and some of the other Jaws movies, I would be down for it. But do I think they would probably go that route? Probably not. Maybe. In the end, it all chalks up to maybe. I think I'm pretty much going to start wrapping it up. I pretty much went 10 minutes over the amount of time I said I was going to go live for because it's just like I get so, I don't want to say heated, but kind of like passionate about a lot of the like topics. I'm interested to see what they do with John Waters as a creator of the Good Guy dolls. It has so much potential. I hope it doesn't end up being a missed opportunity. I agree with that. I'd say, yeah, I agree with that. Because there's a lot of potential they have to bringing up the creator of the Good Guy doll, you know, and obviously bringing John Waters back, who's a fucking legend in like horror and Chucky. So it's just like there are many ways they could fuck it up, but I really hope they don't. Because it's like, there's so many things like, oh, you could say he opens up a new, like, you know, Good Guy doll factory. Oh, you could say he has new Chucky dolls for Chucky to transfer soul into. Like, there's so many things they could do with it that I really hope they don't fuck it up. And I feel they won't, but obviously the potential is always still there that they could. But I have faith in them. And yeah, I'm very interested in it. What is the worst movie you've seen this year? That's a very interesting question because I've watched a lot of horror movies. You know what's weird is actually I don't typically watch a lot of the movies that come out the year of. Like I don't see none of the movies that come out in like usually the years, but I only see a few. But this year it feels like I watched a lot of horror movies that came out this year. But I didn't hate any of them or think of them as bad. And I don't really watch like a lot of other genres, if I'm going to be honest. Like the closest thing I watched to a lot of other genres is maybe John Wick, which I watched like 4 months ago maybe. And then I finished watching the show Billions last night, which was fucking phenomenal and I really loved. But I watched just a lot of horror movies and I didn't really hate any of them. Like if we really get into like the nitty gritty of like I said, I like all horror movies. Like I said, all have their flaws, but I usually come out of all of them liking them or loving them. But I guess if we're talking about the worst movie of the year when it comes to, like I said, I still fucking loved this movie. But if we're going to talk about worst movies of the year when it comes to certain aspects, when it comes to movies I've seen, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, again, I still fucking loved it. Hell, yes. I own Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey and everything. I loved it, but the acting wasn't perfect. There's a lot of stupid fucking aspects to it. Really fucking stupid. There's some CG blood that I didn't like. The acting, like I said, isn't really great. The story sometimes gets a little icky and not great. So yeah, honestly, I would chalk it up to just Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I fucking loved it. Like I said, I like it. Like I said, my garbage disposal for horror. But if I was to say, like, you know, what's the worst one I've seen this year? Probably the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. But I can't wait for the sequel. I like it. But if we're just gonna talk about like, you know, one that like had the most issues that I saw this year, it would be Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I didn't see The Exorcist Believer, which I heard like a lot of people didn't like, and I do have like a lot of complaints about it. So for me, worst horror movie of the year would probably run up to like, you know, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey and The Exorcist Believer. But I didn't hate any of the two. Have you seen The Last of Us series? You know what's funny is I saw episodes 1 and 2, But the issue is if like, if I don't keep up with the series and I don't stay and stick to it, and I like, stop, if I maybe miss an episode, it's very hard for me to get back onto the train of like, watching. And it's a really good show. It's like kind of just, I missed an episode and I kept missing episodes, so I kind of like, forgot about it. But I definitely do want to wrap it up and finish watching it. Obviously, season 2 begins production and all of that soon. And season 2, is around the corner. Or season 2 is coming soon. Maybe in 2 more years. I guess I can count that as soon. I even want to get the Steelbook and DVD for that also. The Last of Us The Last of Us TV series or series. I still need to play the games. I do own both games, but, I wonder how Nico will look like. If you mean she dances, that would be really fucking cool. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. And pretty much, yeah. So that's what I want to talk about. We talked about a lot of the actors. Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I don't know why I kind of blanked for a second on like if I'm pulling out a lot of DVDs here. But yep. Five Nights at Freddy's, I actually really liked it. If Nika dances, that'd be really cool. I don't know why. I think that'd be really cool to see. Maybe in like a really like happy scene or anything, because it's like, she deserves that, to be happy. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how that looks. But yeah, I saw Five Nights at Freddy's this year, and actually I fucking loved it. Obviously, every movie that I watch has like a kind of a honeymoon phase in the beginning where I'm like, oh my god, greatest fucking movie I've ever seen. I love it. Like, best movie I've seen of all my lifetime. But then I start to see like, criticisms as I rewatched. But overall, I still loved it. And yeah, I saw it and I fucking actually really liked it. I can't wait for the sequel, which I think I made a video on that's got greenlit for a sequel, which is really cool. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about in today's live stream. Hope you guys all enjoyed. I'm pretty much going to wrap it up here. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for chatting with me, because it's actually been pretty fun. I got into like a lot of movies, like, Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, all of that. Got to talk about all of that. Got to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, Insidious, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, worst movie of the year. Even though there weren't any movies that I fucking absolutely hated. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to wrap it up here. And yeah, I do have a video coming where it's ranking all of the Chucky Season 3 Part 1 kills, which is a different kind of video for me because I want to branch out a little bit more from just covering only news. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. Peace, my amigos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all coming out and chatting with me. It's been actually really fun conversations. And yeah, peace, my amigos, and peace out. New videos, I think, coming tomorrow, talking more about all of this whole production wrapping soon or anything. But yeah, peace out.